everybody, it's Dr. Joe and Brian, my awesome cool model, and today we're going to show you how to use a TENS unit for neck pain. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So the folks at HealthMate Forever sent me their TS8 TENS EMS unit, and that's the one we're going to use today. So if you're interested in purchasing any of their TENS EMS units, make sure and click on the link up there. So I'm going to show you how to use the TENS on the neck right here, where Brian, our lovely model, is showing. So the great thing about TENS is you can use one channel with 2 electrodes or 2 channels with 4 electrodes. And so you can use them a little bit differently. I personally wouldn't use an EMS or electrical muscle stimulation in the neck area, especially if you're having a lot of pain. So we're just going to do the TENS, but they are different. With a TENS, you really shouldn't get a muscle contraction. So if you're putting it on, you feel like that muscle is contracting, either it's too strong or maybe the electrodes are in a place where you need to move them a little bit. So sometimes you have to adjust it a little bit, but the great thing with TENS is the placement doesn't have to be exact. You're really just trying to cover the area of pain. So let's say Brian has some pain, just general, kind of in the back here, maybe where those levator scaps are, and so it's kind of a general pain area. So what you want to do is kind of cover that pain area, and each channel should cross. So they shouldn't be side to side or on top like that, but the channel 1 should be here and here, and channel 2 should be here and here. So it's crossing that big area to cover all that area of pain. So when you're doing that here, you can see that this is one channel, and it has the 2 electrodes. So they're probably going to be called Brian. I apologize. And so you're just going to place one maybe here, kind of where the upper trap is, and then you're going to place the other one, just get a nice broad area, a little bit lower, maybe towards the rhomboids. I usually don't like placing it right on the scapula bone or that shoulder blade, because sometimes that's a little uncomfortable. So if you can get it on a more meaty area, that usually is a little bit more comfortable. And then so you're going to take the other channel and then just cross that. So kind of mirroring each other. Again, you don't have to be exact, so it doesn't have to be in the same spot on each side. The only thing that it really needs to do is it needs to cross. So I'm just going to put that one there, and so you can see how then this channel is crossing and then this channel is crossing. So once you turn it on, it's really cool because this one has 8 different settings. That's the 8 part of the name. And so when you're going, the ones that have the person using the weights, trying to make more muscles, make muscles stronger, that's the EMS. So the first couple ones are the TENS. So I would stick with those. And then a lot of people ask me, well, which one should I use, because they feel differently, and they're maybe different wavelengths or different frequencies. And to be honest, some therapists might say, oh, you need to use this one for this and you need to use this one for this. But with a TENS, this is really for pain control. This is to increase the circulation of the area. So this is a feel-good kind of thing. So really, I would say just try each setting and then see which one feels best for you. But again, you shouldn't get a contraction with the muscle. This should feel comfortable. It should be strong but comfortable. So here, once you see, you can press, the 1, that's kind of a nice one, and then you go 2, and so when you press on it, it starts moving. That means which one is going. You can also just press the plus and minus for the intensity here, but you can also do the plus and minus buttons here. So I'm actually gonna let Brian kind of go at his own pace, because he's the one feeling it, so I usually let the patient or the person that it's on do the intensity. But as you can see right there, it's getting him a little bit, so that one might be a little bit too high, so I would tell him to take it down, all the way back down, and then I would just move this one slightly down and then let him try it again. So again, it's not exact. Sometimes it takes a couple times to figure it out. Is that a little bit better? Yeah. And then so there's that little bit of contraction. So for him, he would need to go a little bit less, or again, we might just need to move the electrodes in a little bit different places. So again, it doesn't really have to be exact, but that's kind of how you're gonna do it. So if he wants to do something now, like let's say this side is super painful, what we can do is then just do the one channel, which is 2 electrodes, and that usually gets it a little more concentrated in there, because the way this works is if they're closer together, it's usually stronger. If they're further apart, then it's just more general getting the area. So you can drop down to just 2 electrodes, and then that will make it a little bit stronger, and then you can get a specific spot. So when you're doing that, you really want to get pretty close to the area that's hurting. So a lot of times people might have like a trigger point or something like that. And so the best way then to do that is, let's say his trigger point is kind of right here in the trap area, maybe right there or something. So I would either go on top and bottom, but that might trigger that muscle again. So I would just do them on each side. So if that was the spot, I would just kind of go right there. So then that one channel is going back and forth between those electrodes right there. So again, then I would just give him the option of doing the settings, going up a little bit, going down a little bit, just getting that good feeling, not super painful, but you know, strong, comfortable kind of feeling. If he gets a little twitch, that's okay, but you don't want that big contraction, because you know he's lean, he doesn't have a whole lot of tissue in that area. So sometimes you're going to get a little bit of a contraction with someone lean like this, no matter what. So it really just, each person is different. The placement is going to be different for each person. So again, it's great because it is kind of general, and so you can just play around with it a little bit. So you can also move the electrodes a little bit further up the neck. Sometimes it's a little harder for people who have long hair just because the hair gets in the way, but you can move it up higher on the back of the neck. I would be very careful about putting it on the front of the neck, and I would always ask your healthcare provider if it's okay, because sometimes you might have certain injuries or certain ailments, especially like a pacemaker or something like that, where you shouldn't use any kind of electrical stimulation. But let's say Brian was having a lot of pain through here, his levator scap, and it was coming all the way up, maybe giving him headaches. I could bring it all the way up to his hairline up there, and then come down about where it attaches to that scapula or that shoulder blade, and do the 2 right there. I could also, if he was having pain on both sides, then do the cross that way as well. So he might just feel it a little bit more up there. There's a little more vessels and stuff. So again, just being a little bit careful, starting off really low and not going too crazy for it. But you can go up higher on the back. Just be careful about going more towards the front of the neck. Also, what's really cool for the HealthMate Forever is they have a lot of different styles of pads. So if he wanted to do something maybe just across the whole lower neck, upper back area, they have some larger pads where you can easily do that as well. And I'm not going to put it on his back, but I'm just going to show you, like, let's say he had some general pain through here, the whole area. You could do a big one like this and put it on there, and just kind of that middle piece just follows along the spine, and so then there's one on each side. And you could even do that further down the back as well. So there's a couple different placements that you could do to that, and it's just really nice because you can kind of get that whole area of neck pain. So if you're interested in purchasing any of the HealthMate Forever units, make sure and click on the link right above my shoulder over there, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking down there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.